Bear fans, and welcome to another edition of Inside Bear Athletics on Bear TV. Last week, we got the privilege of talking with Southwest men's basketball coach Brian Bender. Tonight, we'll talk women's basketball with assistant coach Dr. Britta Stevens, who also serves as assistant athletic director here at Southwest. Then we'll end our program tonight talking graphics, social media, and Bear TV with Case Johnson, who's going to join us as well. So get ready, bear down. It's time for Inside Bear Athletics on Bear TV. Welcome back to Inside Bear Athletics here on Bear TV on this Tuesday night. Tonight, we're going to start our program talking women's basketball with assistant coach and assistant athletic director, Dr. Britta Stevens. Britta, welcome to the program.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Well, before we start talking about this year's team and everything going on this year on campus, let's backtrack just a bit to last year. Pretty good run for a team that only had one returner last year in Jolie Williams. You go all the way to the Region 23 basketball tournament. Pretty good run for the Lady Bears last year.
Yeah, we were extremely happy with how last season turned out. You know, we had one returner, Alexis Marsh, who had been with us the previous year, who played very limited minutes. We recruited and signed 9 new incoming freshmen for last year's team. Jolie Williams was a transfer. Michaela Etienne was a transfer. Etienne tore ACL right before the season started, so she didn't get to play. So we were relying on 2 kids with experience and 9 who had little to no experience. And we ended up being the South Division runner-up and finishing the season 17-9. So we were just really pleased with how last year's season ended.
Well, you had a couple of spots on your roster to fill at the conclusion of last year. Normally, you and Coach Harris would hit the gyms. You would be all over the place trying to find the perfect fit for your team. But suddenly, COVID-19 hit. When COVID-19 hit, everybody went home. The campus was cleared. The high schools were cleared. The gyms were vacant. Suddenly it was Zoom calls, text messages, and phone calls. And I know you guys do that, but you still like to always kind of see the person that you're recruiting. How did that change as far as filling the holes on the team?
Yeah, everything changed as far as recruiting goes. And we were really fortunate that we only needed to sign 4 or 5 players for this team. It made our job a lot easier. But with COVID-19, instead of being able to go and sit down with them in their gym, with their high school coach, with their families, we had to change everything. We had to do things digital, through Zoom, through text, through FaceTime, all those things. 4 freshmen that we signed, they didn't even get to come and do a campus tour. We had to do a virtual campus tour. We did a video tour and emailed it to them, and that way they could look and see what our campus looked like and what we had to offer. We did a lot of highlight films so they could look and see how we played, what we ran, what our team was like. And we were very fortunate. We got 4 players who signed with us who never visited campus, and we're thankful that they trusted us enough and our program enough to come and be a part of us.
We talked about basketball, but in your role as assistant athletic director, athletics as a whole pretty much changed when COVID-19 hit. What have been some of the challenges that the athletic department has faced even having athletics?
Yeah, athletics, COVID-19 has changed everything. It has changed classes, but it has dramatically changed athletics. In the summer, we had a meeting once a week, twice a week about protocols, COVID protocols, and it seemed like every day it was changing, and it still seems that it's constantly changing. We're doing temp checks every day with our athletes. We're having to wear masks. We're not using locker rooms so that we can social distance. Everything has changed, the way we do laundry, the way we do team meetings. We're having to meet in small groups. So it has been a change. Some changes I really like. Some of the things that we're doing I really like. Some of them have been difficult because you think, okay, well, we can just meet in our team in our office, or our office is such a small space, we can't have the whole team there at one time. So it changes time. We've had to learn to balance time and be more prepared and plan more ahead.
I know over the summer when nobody was here, you didn't know if the kids would even come. Now that they're here, of course, we are getting some fall sports. We had football, which is trying to play their season right now. Basketball's been scrimmaging. Soccer's had some games. Golf's had some games. So we had more probably sports than we thought we'd get originally, right?
We did, and it's been a breath of fresh air just for our teams to be able to play. We scrimmaged last Tuesday, and it was almost just like it was like Christmas Day because it was exciting. It didn't matter whether we won or not. We were just excited to have the opportunity to play, and a lot of our other teams have had the opportunity to play. Football plays, Thursday nights. They've been doing well as far as COVID and stuff. We've been really lucky here with our COVID cases. We have had some kids who have tested positive. We've had some kids and some teams who have had to quarantine, but we have been really, really fortunate that most of our teams have been able to continue to practice and compete.
And I know you mentioned those meetings every week. I know one person that was fully supportive of all this was Dr. Bishop at the top. He was in the forefront of making sure that kids got back on this campus, wasn't he?
Absolutely. Dr. Bishop is a huge proponent of athletics, always has been, and through the COVID continued to be. I know there were many meetings that I was in on. In July, we're talking about bringing football back on July 8th, and I'm sitting there and I'm going, we can't do this. There's no way. And Dr. Bishop's like, let's find a way. Let's find a way to get our football team back. And I think that's such an encouraging thing for someone at the top to know how important athletics are at the college level, because for many of our student athletes, they wouldn't be in school if it weren't for athletics, and it's so important that we have that for them.
Let's get back to basketball real quick. One of the fundraisers I know you as a coach look forward to every year, and I know a lot of folks look forward to, is your tip-off dinner. Mm-hmm. It's always a lot of fun. The girls get dressed up and they get to meet some of the area people who support your basketball team. Obviously, due to COVID, no tip-off dinner this year, huh?
Yes, unfortunately, with the COVID, we just felt like the best thing we could do for this year was postpone or cancel the tip-off dinner, hopefully to next year. We've talked about the possibility of doing something similar to that in the spring. We'll just see how COVID, what happens with the COVID and what happens with protocols. But unfortunately, we won't have our tip-off dinner, and we're going to miss that. We really enjoy our interactions with our fans because a lot of times when we're playing the games, we don't get to really sit down and talk to them. It's play, change, film, whatever's coming. So the tip-off dinner is a nice opportunity for our players to get to know the people who support them.
Well, you lose the tip-off dinner, but every year in JUCO athletics, fundraising is so important. Especially now with COVID-19, money is even tighter now than it was last year, and it was tight last year. So you had to kind of go back to the drawing board on a fundraiser. We've seen this in some Major League Baseball games. We've seen this, the cutouts like you see Charlie here behind us. Kind of tell us your idea for Southwest Basketball's fundraiser this year.
Well, we are extremely well funded. Our school takes care of us, but there's always room for a little extra money. There are always special projects and things that you would like to do. So we had to brainstorm. I can take no claim or credit for Charlie the Bear. This was a Coach Harris idea. He had seen them in the different stadiums, and he thought it would be really cool. We don't know what our capacity is going to be for basketball games. We are hoping and praying that we're going to be at full capacity, but we're still going to put cutouts in the gym because we think they're really cool. So this year we're selling the cutouts. You can get a cutout of anything you would like. It can be yourself. It can be your dog. It can be your children. It could be Kobe Bryant, if you would like a Kobe Bryant cutout. It can be anything you would like it to be. We're selling them. A single cutout is $40, and they will be the size of Charlie. We have a whole lot of Charlie the Bears, so we're going to use those as examples and hopefully place some of those around town. But they will be this size. They will be put in the bleachers, and then once the season is over with, you can keep your cutout. So a lot of instructors have asked us, can I put it in my office once the season is over with? Absolutely. So it's $40 for one. It is $75 for two, and then the pricing goes up after that, 3, 4. Once you get to 5, you do get a pretty good break in the pricing because we want you to buy as many as you would like. So hopefully we can sell a few of these and have real fans and cutout fans in the stands.
Hey, even at full capacity, we'll find a place for these, won't we?
Absolutely.
In the gym.
Absolutely.
Let's talk real quick. How does somebody go about getting their cutout? I know they're going to have to take their picture themselves, right? Kind of explain the process to us.
Yes. So you can get your cutout by contacting me either via email at bstevens@smcc.edu, or you can call me at 601-276-3853. You can mail in your check. The photo you will take yourself, and then you just email it to us, and then we will pass it along to A to Z Printing, who is doing this for us. A to Z here in McComb are doing the cutouts. So we will just take them a jump drive of all the photos, and they will print them and get them to us, and we'll get them hung up in the gym. So any questions you have or anything that you would like to know about the cutouts, you can contact me. Again, my email is bstevens@smcc.edu, or my phone is 601-276-3853.
What's the deadline for you as far as getting the pictures to you?
We're going to sell these up until the Friday before Thanksgiving, so we've still got several weeks. We would like to be done by the Friday before Thanksgiving, so we have plenty of time for A to Z Printing to get them printed. And then Coach Harris and I and our team have time to get them up in the gym before we tip off on January 20th.
January 20th. Let's talk basketball real quick. You talked about the January 20th date. Schedule has been completely turned over. Normally, right about now, in fact, as this is airing, you would be probably getting ready to play your first game. If not, maybe you've already played your first game in basketball. But this year, no official games before Christmas. Tell us about your schedule.
Yeah, so this year we cannot play until January. The first date that the NJCAA will allow us to play is January 20th. In an ordinary year, we play 23 games, so we felt like this year we would probably be cut some games, but we're going to get to play 21 games, so we're excited about that. We are going to have a full season. A big difference this year is the commissioner. We've got a new commissioner in our league who's doing some really great things for our league, and we're going to play everyone. So we will play everyone in the North once, and then we will play everyone in the South twice. So we'll still have our South Division champion and be seated on our South seating, but we will play everyone in the North once. Unfortunately for us, that means we open up on January the 20th at Itawamba, which is a long road trip for the Lady Bears.
Very long road trip for the Lady Bears. And on a weeknight at that, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
That'll be fun. Itawamba.
Aren't you looking forward to the bus
Oh,
drive
are
and
we
the
looking
pizza?
forward to that bus drive and the pizza that will follow when we go to beautiful Fulton, Mississippi on that beautiful weeknight in January. But hey, you know what? If we get to play basketball, it'll all be worth it.
It's worth it. It's totally worth it as long as we can play.
Let's talk a little bit more about the team. We talked last year, freshmen with a couple of sophomores. Kind of flips the script on you this year. You got all these sophomores now, so looking for big things from the Lady Bears, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. After the season that we had last year, 17-9, second in the South Division, we have high expectations for this year's team. We're returning 9. Michaela Etienne, who tore her ACL and did not get to play last year, will be back with us at the point. Sydney Tangle, Taylor Ben, Shyla McGee, all those players who were big impact players for us last year will be back. Jade Miles, we've got a whole roster back, it's great as a coach to know that I have 9 sophomores coming back, but as a recruiter, it scares me because now we have to go out and sign 9 players to fill huge shoes because those players did so many things for us as freshmen, and we have such high expectations for them this year.
Well, tell us about a couple of new Lady Bears that you were able to get a few more in.
We did. We signed 4 new Lady Bears. Anila White is a freshman point guard from St. Martin High School. Really pleased with her in the scrimmage the other day. Handles the ball really well. Shoots it. Doesn't shoot it quite as much as I would like for her to. That was one thing that we talked about after the scrimmage. I said, you got to be ready to shoot the ball. We got Bree Brown, who is a 6'2" kid from Greene County. She's probably the biggest player that we've ever had. If you look at our team this year, you're going to notice that we're bigger than we've ever been, that's saying a lot for us because usually we're pretty small. But Bree Brown is a 6'2" post kid, very strong, going to be a huge presence inside. Courtney Bradford is another big post kid, 6-foot kid from Murrah High School. Under-recruited, and Brett and I go in our offices some days after practice and go, why didn't more people recruit this kid? Because she is very talented. Her ceiling is, her best basketball is ahead of her, and she's got a lot ahead of her. And then Abby Gallagher is a local kid from South Pike who we picked up late. She can shoot the ball. She is a very smart player, understands her role, and is going to contribute big minutes for us, especially her sophomore year, I think.
Well, Coach, we talked to Brian Bender about this, and he kind of had a different opinion on it. I'm curious your opinion. If they don't allow any fans in the Southwest Basketball Center, you play your whole season basically with just media people and the basketball team, does that change? Because I know Southwest is so good at drawing fans and so good at having a great atmosphere. Of course, I know on the road it's different.
Right.
But not having the home crowd, you think that will affect your team at all?
I think it does hurt us, and I'm going to be careful how I answer this because we play at 5:30, so a lot of times at the beginning of our games, there aren't a lot of people there, but by the time we get to the second half, after halftime, our gym is full, and our crowd makes a huge difference. So I think it will. I think them not being there could affect us. We're used to having our football team there. We're used to having people heckle the other team, and I think that's going to make a difference. I just think fans make the game so much more fun.
Absolutely. Well, tell us about the fundraiser one more time. Give us the deadline, the phone number, the prices, all that good stuff for the fundraiser.
Okay. So we're selling the cardboard cutouts for basketball season. They're $40 for a single cutout, $75 for 2. It's $110 for 3, and $125 for 4. If you get 5 or more, they are $25 for each additional one. You can order these by contacting me at bstevens@smcc.edu or calling my office phone 601-276-3853. You can use any picture you would like. You will take the picture yourself and just email it to us, and we will handle everything else from there.
Well, Coach, we appreciate your time tonight. Now, I know you got another scrimmage before Christmas, right?
We do. We have two more. November 4th, we go to Meridian Community College, and we will scrimmage East Mississippi and Meridian Community College. And then on November 11th, we drive all the way up to Colin and scrimmage Colin and East Mississippi. So, we played Jones and Colin the first scrimmage last week. We swung big out of the gate. We wanted to play the best, and we feel like Jones, Colin, East Mississippi, those are some of the best teams in the league. So we're really excited about being able to scrimmage and seeing where we measure up against them.
Well, the scrimmages, and then before you know it, Christmas will be here. We'll come back after Christmas, hopefully, and be able to get a full Southwest Basketball Center for basketball.
Hopefully so.
21st, right?
January 20th.
January 20th at
At
Itawamba.
Itawamba.
When's the first home game? Do you know offhand?
One game at a time, Benji.
One game at a time. One game at a time. That's a coach that says, hey, it's at Itawamba on the 20th.
That's the only one
That's
I
the
know.
only one I need to know. Coach Britta Stevens, thanks for joining us so much for your time tonight. We appreciate it. Look forward to basketball season, and go Bears.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
When we come back, we'll visit with Case Johnson. We'll talk a little bit about social media here on the Southwest campus when we return on Inside Bear Athletics on Bear TV.
Hey, my name is Kimberly Woolley, and I'm a 1995 graduate of Southwest. I'm a proud member of the Alumni Association, and I'm also on the Alumni Executive Board. I love my time here at Southwest. It was a great experience for me. I came from a smaller high school, so this was like a bigger high school with schools from around the community, so it was a really fun time for me. Southwest is just a great asset to our community. I love keeping up with everything that's going on, staying involved, and I look forward to my children coming here one day. Go Bears!
Join the SMCC Alumni Association today. Call 601-276-2442. It's time to get excited about Southwest Athletics. Football season is nearly here. The SMCC All-Sport Athletic Pass will give you admission to every home game of every sport for the whole academic year. Get your All-Sport Season Pass at www.southwestbearathletics.com.
Thank you for supporting Southwest Athletics.
Get your all-sport season pass today.
Reach the summit.
Well, welcome back here on Bear TV. Our thanks to Dr. Britta Stevens for joining us to talk women's basketball and, of course, their big fundraiser with the cutouts. Of course, Charlie hanging out with us here for our final segment here on this Tuesday night. Now, let's introduce to you the person that usually sits behind the camera and behind the computer, and that's Case Johnson, who joins us as a full-time member now of the Southwest family. Case, first, good evening.
Hey, good evening, Benji. Good to be here.
Well, kind of introduce yourself to us. For those who may not know the guy behind the camera, tell us about Case.
Well, my name's Case Johnson. I'm a former alumni at Southwest Mississippi Community College. Went on to continue my career at Southern Miss and ended up back here working in a lot of digital media and graphic design related fields. As he said, I typically am the person behind the camera, and it's very interesting to be on this end of it. It's really good to be up here with Charlie as well. I think that's a really interesting thing that we're doing this year, and I'm really excited to be able to help out with that.
Well, let's kind of talk about some of your job responsibilities on campus. Of course, one of the big job responsibilities you have is the very platform people are watching right now, and that's Bear TV, which, of course, you were here last year when Bear TV kind of got started. But, boy, it's taken on kind of a life of itself, hasn't it?
It has. Bear TV has grown substantially, I'd say, in the past couple of years from where it started. It started really with just a couple cameras, and now we're up to having all of this nice equipment and able to put on a talk show and able to do a lot of interesting things now that we weren't able to before. Big thank you goes out to a lot of the student helpers that we've had over the past couple years, like Kane and May or Nathan or Josh or a lot of those kids, or Trevor. Really wanted to thank them because they really were some of the founding members of Bear TV, and really a lot of the stuff that I put on and made possible wouldn't have been possible without those guys.
Absolutely. And by the way, also understand there is still some work study positions available if somebody else is seeing this and they want to get in on Bear TV. Right?
Absolutely. This is a really cool thing, cool after-school activity that you guys can get into. If you like, even if you're not really into the whole the sports scene, there are a lot of technical and savvy parts of this job that you might enjoy doing, such as graphics work or working with a lot of these cameras and equipment back here. We have really had some people that weren't interested in sports at all the past couple years just really take to using this equipment and enjoy doing what they do. And I believe that one now has moved on to doing this for a major Hollywood studio. So that is really exciting to hear, and it's exciting to see where some of my own students that I work with are moving on and taking this to the next level.
Well, say another student wants to get involved. What's the first step they want to do?
Definitely come try to find me or Dr. Andrew Dale. You can find both of us here at the Horace C. Holmes Center, Student Union, most of the days. This is most of where we work out of. And, you guys can catch me walking around campus with a lot of this equipment because I haul around most of it by hand. And you can reach me at 601-814-9336. That's my personal number. Or you can reach me at my school email of cjohnson@smcc.edu.
Well, outside of Bear TV, let's talk about one of the other things that you and Dr. Dell have been on, and that is, of course, the social media presence of the college. Of course, a lot of folks are watching this on social media right now. Before this year, or before last year and this year, every department in sports kind of ran their own social media. Now it's all kind of come under one blanket, hasn't it?
Correct. And with that kind of presented a problem when I first got here because, it's only so possible for a coach to manage their social media presence and their outreach to their athletes and other students all around the campus because, they're doing their job. They're coaching. They're having to make schedules and they're having to make practice plans and game plans. And, that's not something that they really have time for, nor is it anything that, that a lot of them even have interest in. And so that's really helpful to have me around here now because we've kind of this year pulled all of the old social medias that were all individually made over the past couple of years. We pulled it under one banner. All of it functions, makes most of the same posts, and communicates with one another, and that's been really nice and has really helped us out a lot.
Yeah, I know if you were a basketball fan, you're now getting football information, and if you were a football, you're now getting basketball. And, of course, Southwest Bear Athletics as a whole has a Facebook page, and that's the one folks really need to follow, isn't it?
Correct. Southwest Bear Athletics is the main page. However, we do have a lot of students that reach out to us or really athletes who are trying to come here reach out to us through these social media pages. I get a ton of Facebook direct or Instagram direct messages from recruits out there that haven't really been noticed by anybody, and they actually reach out to us through those programs, and I pass that word along to the coaches. And from what I've been told, that has helped out a whole lot, and they have been able to see a lot more that they wouldn't have seen before. And I'm hoping that that's something that continue to be a tool for us to use in our athletics program.
Absolutely. SouthwestBearAthletics.com. Also, Southwest Bear Athletics at Facebook. You talk about Instagram, Twitter. All those are being now handled under one umbrella. Of course, Case, your background is more in graphics, and I know that's one thing that you'll spend an hour and a half making sure that the picture is just perfect before it goes onto the screen. I've seen you do this on some of the trips we've taken together. Your background is in graphics. I know you love doing that part too, don't you?
Right, absolutely. I mean, as being the graphic designer nerd on campus, you are mistaken for IT very often and asked to do a lot of computer problems. So it's good to know how to do those along the way, but at the same time, it's also very, very difficult to be that graphic designer and do these other, the many hat situation here at Southwest, the other jobs you have to do, because it makes you such a nitpicky perfectionist, and that's who we all really are at the core.
Absolutely, Case. And of course, folks are watching this right now, but also now they can even hear this. I understand we got a brand new podcast, right?
Absolutely. Inside Bear Athletics is now available as a podcast on several different forms of media, such as Amazon Music or Spotify, and I believe Apple Music is on the way. So that's something to really look forward to, and it's really nice to be able to hear that on your morning commute to or from work, in the afternoons or whatever.
And I was going to say, folks can't join us, of course, 6 o'clock. That's when we do this live here on Bear TV. But they can also go back on Bear TV and watch the previous episodes. Now they can go to the podcast and listen to the previous episodes as well.
Correct. All productions from Bear TV are archived through our main website, www.southwestbearathletics.com, and you can access Bear TV and all of the archived games as well as live games through the multimedia tab located at the top of the page.
And, of course, through Southwest Bear Athletics on Facebook and also Twitter, and, of course, now the podcast, which gives you the audio version of Inside Bear Athletics. And, Case, one more thing, with COVID-19 being so prevalent in our society, with crowd sizes being limited, Bear TV going to play a big role in the 2020-2021 school year, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely, and that is a really powerful part of using this as a tool, is that it has allowed us to get ahead of the COVID-19 epidemic, and I'm glad that we had developed this within the last 2 years, because I'd say that it's perfect timing more than anything.
Absolutely. SouthwestBearAthletics.com, the Southwest Bear Athletics Facebook page. Those are the two places you can go to see all of the productions from Bear TV. Case, thanks a lot for joining us tonight. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, man.
That'll do it for another edition of Inside Bear Athletics right here on Bear TV. Don't forget, join us every Tuesday night, 6 p.m. on Bear TV, SouthwestBearAthletics.com, and all the social media platforms of Southwest Mississippi Community College. And don't forget, Thursday night, the Bears are in action with another football game. Coach Tim Stowers and his Bears on the road Thursday night. You can hear that game, by the way, on K106 105.7 FM. Until next Tuesday night, go Bears!